A lawyer who represents some HBC employees tells the Globe and Mail thousands of job losses are likely, and the layoffs will result in names totaling more than $100 million. He also says those who are terminated will not receive severance payments, something he calls a major concern. I'm Chris McCusker.
The National Council of Canadian Muslims is calling on Durham police to label an attack at an Ajax library as an act of hate. 680's Alain Cavillon with more.
Authorities responded to the calls of an alleged assault on Saturday where they say the victim wearing a hijab was studying at the library. Then a woman approached her, yelled at her, and hit her before attempting to light the victim's hijab on fire. Witnesses then intervened. Then the suspect took off, but was later arrested. A 25-year-old woman from Ajax now faces charges of assault with a weapon and failing to comply with a probation order. Police say an investigation into whether the attack meets the threshold to be considered hate-motivated is ongoing. Federal NDP leader Jagmeet Singh spoke about the attack on social media, calling it horrifying. I'm Alain Cavillon.
Coming up, Craig will have an update on the roads, and Jill has your long-range weather details. 680 News Time, 11:20.
At Capital Group, our funds are crafted to endure, including our new suite of active ETFs. This hands-on approach can make a difference where it matters, the core of a portfolio. Capital Group, actively different. Commissions, management fees, and expenses all may be associated with investments in investment funds. Please read the prospectus before investing. Investment funds are not guaranteed. Their values change frequently, and past performance may not be repeated. Capital Group funds in Canada are offered by Capital International Asset Management Canada, Inc.
Traffic. Uncomfortable, am I right? Look, I can't get you home any sooner, but what I can do is make your life more comfortable when you get there. That's because Leon's Comfort Sale is on. Wait for it. Now, get 50% off select sofas and sectionals like the Jessica sofa, only $6.99, or 50% off select mattresses. Plus, get amazing offers on financing. Now, honk the horn. Let them know you have a sale to get to. Leon's. Now that's comfortable. Visit leons.ca today.
680 News Time, 11:21.
That is time for Rogers Xfinity Internet traffic and weather. Together on the ones, here's Craig Gear.
This report is brought to you by Don Valley North Toyota. Northbound on the DVP, a delay from Bloor up to north of Bayview Bloor, where a stalled dump truck is sitting here, and the right lane's been blocked off. A heavy tow truck just arrived on scene, so hopefully this will clear shortly. Westbound QEW on the ramp to Winston Churchill, right lane blocked for a collision. Tow trucks on scene and whatnot. You can use the ramp. Just watch out. They're off to the right side. A crash on the South 400 through Highway 88. That's in the right lane. No delay on that route. It is slow about Shepherd to the 401. Still a bit busy at the bottom end, but really not too bad. Eastbound 401 on and off from Dixon to the 400. Express collectors mostly in the express, so if you do pick the collectors, it'll save you some time. And then eastbound 401 a bit busy through Leslie in the express. And no delays on the westbound 401. It's a good drive so far. East and West Gardner, still delays with the long-term construction westbound from Spadina to Jameson and eastbound from Parkside to east of Jameson. And we've got a stretch of Danforth closed, Warden to Eastwood for bridge construction until Thursday. And 35 is closed north and south, north of the 115 between Sandy Hook and Pontypool due to a crash. Your new Toyota is waiting for you at Don Valley North Toyota. Visit the showroom and get acquainted, or have a look at DonValleyNorthToyota.com, a division of Wayne's Auto Group. With the forecast, Jill Taylor.
Early wet weather will move on out, and generally a cloudy, windy day. Wind gusts could exceed 40, even 50 kilometers per hour out of the southwest today. The guaranteed high 6. Still cloudy, windy tonight. 1 degree for the low will feel like -5, and near 4 tomorrow with a chance of flurries or showers. Mainly cloudy, 3 on Wednesday, milder on Thursday, 9 degrees, and then colder Friday, cloudy, the high near 3. Heads up for freezing rain Saturday, and then the double-digit highs return on Sunday. For today, the guaranteed high, +6.
And right now in downtown Toronto, we have a cloudy sky, and we're currently sitting at 5 degrees.
And keep in mind, 680 News Radio Toronto is the only radio station with a weather guarantee. Today's jackpot stands at $15,600.
680 News Time, 11:23.
Wahi is the smarter way to buy a home in the GTA, because we give you up to 1% cash back no matter where you buy. You could buy a home near the Crosstown Eglinton line and get thousands in cash back. Then you just sit back and enjoy that extra money until that Eglinton line opens. Which is definitely happening, right? Like in our lifetime? And if you buy and sell with a Wahi Realtor, you get even more cash back. See the details at wahi.com. From Wahi Realty Inc. Brokerage.
Making the mean streets
nicer
with traffic reports you can trust.
Updated every 10 minutes on the ones.
680 News Radio Toronto.
680 News Time, 11:24. Canadian folk legend Sylvia Tyson is reflecting on her Juno-nominated final album. The 84-year-old musician announced her retirement from recording music 2 years ago, noting her 2023 album, At the End of the Day, would be her last. This weekend, it's nominated for Traditional Roots Album of the Year at the Junos in Vancouver, and Tyson plans to be there. The Canadian Music Hall of Fame inductee called the nomination unexpected, and after spending more than half a century in the music business lately, she's felt a growing distance from the community she loves. Conan O'Brien was honored for his contributions to comedy.
Conan O'Brien accepted the Mark Twain Prize for Humor at Washington's Kennedy Center. Less than a month ago, President Trump upended the Kennedy Center by ousting its management, which Will Ferrell just couldn't pass up.
Do you know what I'm supposed to be doing right now? Do you have any idea? I'm supposed to be shutting down the Department of Education, okay?
Conan O'Brien pointed out Mark Twain's words mean a lot at this moment in American history.
Twain wrote, "Patriotism is supporting your country all of the time, and your government when it deserves it."
O'Brien said Twain hated bullies and deeply empathized with the weak, adding, "This is all about comedy."
Comedy that is self-critical, deflating, and dedicated to the proposition that we are all flawed, absurd, and wallowing in the mud together.
Ed Donahue, Washington.
A journalism professor at Columbia University says the Trump administration is on a campaign to do everything it can to diminish and obstruct journalism in the U.S. During the first Trump administration, the biggest concern for many journalists was labels of fake news or an enemy of the people by a president and his supporters. Now, in his second term, Trump appears more assertive. That includes lawsuits, a newly aggressive Federal Communications Commission, and an effort to control the press corps that covers the president, prompting legal action by the Associated Press. Coming up in 60 seconds, your Market Minute.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate online at carsforkids.ca. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll benefit a child and get a maximum tax credit.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today, and your car can be gone tomorrow.
No business is risk-free. Get a business insurance quote at Zensurance.com online and receive a $20 gift card using the referral code RADIO. Zensurance policies starting at $19 a month. Be protected. Be Zen.
Funerals aren't your thing? Simple Choice Cremation is your answer for a caring, worry-free cremation. Pre-need plans starting as low as $35 a month. No frills, no fuss, no worries. SimpleChoiceCremationToronto.ca.
Time now for the Dynamic Funds Market Minute. Here's Richard Detman.
23andMe has filed for bankruptcy protection, and its co-founder and CEO has resigned after the genetic testing company failed to find a buyer. It will continue to operate thanks to debtor in possession financing of $35 million US and try to find new investors by early May. A non-binding takeover proposal from CEO Ann Wojcicki was rejected earlier. 23andMe has struggled after a major data breach. The stock has fallen below $1 and is 89% under its year-ago level. Stocks are rising on signals that the U.S. will modify the tariffs it promises to impose next week. Aides and allies of President Donald Trump say the tariffs on imports could be less broad than he has occasionally threatened. Markets have been falling lately as traders feared an all-out tariff war. Officials are now saying the announcement April 2nd will exclude some countries or blocs, and there will not be separate sector-specific tariffs. In the latest twist, Trump says he would seek a 25% tariff on any country importing gas or oil from Venezuela. The recently beaten down tech sector is leading today's rally. The Nasdaq is up 2%, 381 points. Among today's gainers, the chip giant Nvidia is up 3%. The TSX Composite Index is up 1.5%. That's 386 points. The Dow Jones Industrials are up 1%, 563 points. And the S&P 500 Wall Street's benchmark is up 1.6% or 92 points. The dollar is up 19 100ths to 69.88 cents U.S., a U.S. dollar $1.43 Canadian. Oil is up 1% to 69.02 U.S. a barrel. Gold pulling back $7, still at $3,014 an ounce. At the Business Center, I'm Richard Detman.
What's your portfolio's most valuable asset? It may be your financial advisor. Visit dynamic.ca/advice to see why advice matters.
He's been voted Las Vegas's best all-around performer and best impersonator.
You know, you look really comfortable. Terry, I do this all the time when Laura's not around. Oh, okay.
America's Got Talent winner Terry Fader, the voice of entertainment. One man, 100 voices, 1,000 laughs.
I left my...
July 13th, OLG stage at Falls View Casino.
Aye.
On sale now at Ticketmaster.
I'm falling apart.
Terry Fader, one man, 100 voices, 1,000 laughs.
When did sleep become a weakness? Hustle, bustle, grind, live it up. Sleep when you're dead, they say. And for what? To wear our eye bags like a badge of honor? To be more exhausted than our exhausted friends? Hard pass. Good sleep makes being awake so much more awesome. So next time you feel guilty for catching those Z's, hit snooze. Let's stop sleep shaming with Sleep Country. Learn more at stopsleepshaming.ca.
680 News Time, 11:30.
Number one for breaking news, traffic, and weather. 680 News Radio, Toronto.
Good morning. This is Monday, March 24th. I'm Sarah Parrott.
And I'm Irene Precklett. Here's what's making news this hour.
Federal party leaders are on the trail for their first full day of campaigning in the election. Tax cuts, housing promises, and Canada's historic ties with the U.S. are all in focus.
Is it an act of patriotism or pettiness? The mayor says where possible, she wants all American flags removed from city property amid the ongoing tariff war with our American neighbors.
A 16-year-old boy is dead, found shot to death on the 49th floor of a condo tower near York Street in Lakeshore. A 19-year-old is now charged with murder.
A supervised consumption site is in court today looking to have a Ford government law overturned, which would close 10 of the sites next week.
If this is healthcare without it, people have a risk of death.
The Blue Jays revving up for opening day now. The Raptors up against the Wizards tonight, plus March Madness rolls on today for the women. Sports at 45.
The U.S.-Canada tariff war threatens to hurt the green manufacturing sector. Stocks are rallying. The Nasdaq's up 2%, the TSX 1.5% on the prospect of the coming tariffs not being as broad as expected. Business at 56.
680 News Time, 11:31.
It's time for Rogers Xfinity Internet traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Craig Gear.
This report is brought to you by Martin Daniel Interiors, northbound on the DVP. Stalled dump truck still here, north of Bayview Bloor, where the right lane's blocked off. Delays from Bloor to north of Bayview Bloor. Southbound delays at Shepherd and then through Lawrence. Onto the West Gardner. Delays about Spadina to Jameson on the westbound side. The QEW is pretty good. Just watch out on the ramp to Winston Churchill. Crash in the right lane still getting cleaned up. On the eastbound QEW is great. Gardner slow from approaching Parkside to east of Jameson. It's all the fault of the long-term construction. Eastbound 401 slow anywhere from Dixon to the 400, mostly in the Express, and then through Leslie in the Express as well. And westbound 401's pretty excellent. Just off the phone with the traffic spotter saying there's a crash at Keele and Lawrence in the westbound lanes, and it looks to be the right lane that's blocked with a crash. Everything's on sale at Martin Daniel Interiors annual spring sale. Get big warehouse savings too. Discover why Valerie adores her store, Martin Daniel Interiors. With the forecast, Jill Taylor.
Well, the overnight snow and rain will come to an end, and generally just a cloudy, windy day for us. The wind out of the southwest will climb to 6 degrees for the guaranteed high. Cloudy tonight, a low near 1. It'll feel like -5 for early tomorrow. For today, the guaranteed high, 6.
We've got mostly cloudy skies and 5 degrees. 680 News Time, 11:33.
Canada votes 2025.
The promises and pitches have begun with the federal party leaders now in full campaign mode with Canada's 45th election just over a month away.
And 680's Parliament Hill reporter Cormac McSweeney joins us with more on what they're up to today.
Liberal leader Mark Carney speaking now in Gander, Newfoundland, the spot that took in many Americans when flights were grounded during 9/11. Amid our trade war, Carney's tapping into the historic ties between our countries and vowing to stand up for Canada, but he's likening the relationship to being brothers.
We don't always see eye to eye, but when push comes to shove, we're there for each other.
This comes as U.S. President Donald Trump and his tariffs cast a shadow over this campaign. Carney also likening his main opponent, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre, to President Trump. Meanwhile, Poilievre in Brampton is promising a middle-class tax cut, reducing the lowest income bracket by 2.25%, which is more than the 1% being promised by the Liberals. The NDP's Jagmeet Singh in Montreal vowing to unlock more public land to build 100,000 rent-controlled homes by 2035.
To build homes that are affordable, homes that are non-market housing, homes that are truly affordable where you can actually afford to call your own.
We're also finding out when the leaders' debates will be. They'll be held in Montreal, the first in French on Wednesday, April 16th, the second in English on Thursday, April 17th. On the Election Watch, Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
Well, last week, Mayor Olivia Chow said she was in favor of taking down American flags at city buildings across Toronto as the trade war with the U.S. rages on. 680's Momin Qureshi joins us live with more after Chow was again asked about that today. Momin.
Sarah, is it an act of patriotism or pettiness? The mayor says that she would like to see United States of America flags, the Star-Spangled Banner as it were, lowered and removed from city-owned property where possible, but she says it's not always going to be possible.
If we have control over some of the land, we sometimes don't, because some of the American flags, the flags are on property that are governed by a board of directors. So it's not up to the city to say to the board of directors, we could express our desire that everyone fly the Canadian flag high and proudly. But in terms of
she says so in terms of properties that are governed by a board of directors, they won't always have a say. Now, there are actually not that many properties across the city that have American flags on. There's only a handful. I'm going out to one of them in Leaside to get people's opinions on whether they support this move or whether it's too much. Of course, this is all being done under the backdrop of that ongoing tariff tiff with the U.S. Reporting live, I'm Momin Qureshi.
680 News Time, 11:36. Toronto police have identified the victim in a fatal downtown condo shooting over the weekend as a 16-year-old boy, while also announcing they've made an arrest. 680's Kevin Meisner has the latest on the investigation.
Homicide detectives believe after a teenager was shot to death here at the ICE condo towers at 12 York Street, a gun, possibly the murder weapon, was tossed into Toronto Harbor. Police divers are now in the water searching. Detective Sergeant Mike Taylor says the 16-year-old victim was found in a unit on the 49th floor.
And they located a male who had an obvious sign of a gunshot wound, and he was declared deceased at the scene. He was not transported from the scene.
He also believes the victim and suspect knew each other.
The investigation revealed that they were friends, and it was a isolated incident.
The teenager killed is identified as 19-year-old Yonadab Dar. The suspect, 19-year-old Elijah Chapman, is charged with second-degree murder. He actually turned himself in at 51 Division. At York and Lakeshore, I'm Kevin Meisner.
Well, 10 safe consumption sites are set to close next week, but one of them is in court today trying to overturn the Ford government law. 680's Queen's Park reporter Richard Southern has more.
The Ford government passed a law last year that will close safe consumption sites starting next week, which are located within 200 meters of schools or daycares. But a legal challenge is being brought by one of those safe consumption sites, looking for the judge to issue an injunction to keep these sites open. Bill St. Clair is the CEO of that site, called the Neighborhood Group.
What we're arguing, though, is that this is health care, that without it, people have a risk of death. Of course, if you aren't using safely and legally indoors, you're using unsafely and illegally outdoors.
Bill, the Premier has argued that crime goes up around these sites.
Well, the research shows that actually crime goes down around these sites. But I understand people's concerns. And if the province wants to help to do it in an even more safe way, we're so happy to talk to the province about how we could make it even safer.
It's a 2-day court hearing. The judge expected to rule on a possible injunction tomorrow. Richard Southern, Queen's Park.
Liquidation begins today for a 355-year-old Canadian department store.
Hudson's Bay says all but 6 locations will be selling off their inventory, and it aims to wrap up the liquidation by June 15th. Gift cards will be accepted until April 6th, but loyalty points cannot be used. The 6 stores omitted from the liquidation sales include 3 in the Toronto area and 3 around the Montreal area. Hudson's Bay filed for creditor protection earlier this month, saying it was facing financial difficulties stemming from lower consumer spending, reduced downtown store traffic, and Canada-U.S. trade tensions. Michelle Zedekian, The Canadian Press.
Coming up in 30 seconds, we'll find out where the price of gas is going.
680 News Time, 11:39.
Where style meets performance, a new journey begins. Genesis delivers bold elegance and cutting-edge innovation.
From courtside to luxury rides, go where the basketball stars shine, on the road.
Visit genesismississauga.ca today for an experience centered around you.
Save at Loblaws with Stamp and Save Days. Up to 15% off a single purchase. Get 1 stamp for every $20 spent. Collect stamps March 6 to 26 to save. Only at Loblaws. Conditions apply. See in-store signage for details.
Now, the News Radio Toronto gas price update. Enpro predicts the price won't change at midnight. It'll stay at $1.54.9 a liter.
680 News Time, 11:40.
680 News Radio Toronto.
It's Employment Law Q&A.
From 680 News Radio and Canada's leading employment lawyer, Howard Levitt, at levittlawyers.com.
True or false, Howard? If my long-term disability runs out while I'm on it, can my employer fire me?
False. If you remain disabled, whether or not you get LTD, it's still a wrongful dismissal.
If you come back from disability unable to do your job, the employer can fire you.
False. The employer has a duty to accommodate you if there's a reasonable job you still can do, even if it's not the same level as the job you did before.
My employer cannot fire me while I'm on maternity leave, right?
False. You can be fired, just not because of maternity leave. For example, if the whole division shut down, or if they found you'd done something terrible before you left and fired you for cause.
To contact Howard, visit levittlawyers.com. That's levittlawyers.com.
Employment Law Q&A.
From Howard Levitt at 680 News Radio Toronto.
680 News Time, 11:41.
Hey, it's time for Rogers Xfinity Internet traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Craig Gear.
This report is brought to you by United Way, northbound DVP, north of Bayview Bloor. Right lane blocked with that stalled dump truck, and it's just getting hooked onto the heavy tow now. Delays from approaching Bloor to north of Bayview Bloor, where that right lane's blocked off. Southbound delays through Shepherd on the 404, down towards the 401, and a bit busy through Lawrence on the South DVP. Eastbound 401, anywhere from Islington to the 400, mostly express lane delays here, and then that's it. Westbound, a bit busy through Avenue Road in the Express. We had reports of a crash on the South 400 through Highway 88. Starting to get a bit busy now as you approach 88. Maybe they've taken an extra lane, but they were in the right lane to try to clear this. Maybe some extra vehicles have arrived to try to help out, and that's why you've got a bit of a slowdown now on the South 400 approaching 88. East and West Gardiner, it's long-term delays. Westbound from Spadina, eastbound from approaching Parkside to east of Jameson. Reports of a crash at Keele and Lawrence. So traffic spotter saying westbound, the right lane is blocked at Keele and Lawrence. Might be involving a TTC bus as well. Danforth closed Warden to Eastwood for bridge construction until Thursday evening. Should be reopened by Friday. And 35 is closed north of the 115 from Sandy Hook to Pontypool for a crash investigation. United Way needs your help fighting poverty in the Greater Toronto Area any way they can. Learn how your donation can make a difference at unitedwaygt.org. Here's the forecast with Jill Taylor.
You may want to give yourself a little bit of extra time this morning. Clear away any of that wet snow that accumulated overnight. Wind out of the southwest today will climb to 6 degrees, and generally just a cloudy, windy day. Tonight, cloudy, still windy. A low near +1, it'll feel like -5. And tomorrow, chance of flurries or showers near 4. For today, the guaranteed high, 6.
We continue to hang on to +5 and mostly cloudy skies. 680 News Time, 11:43.
A Canadian restaurant chain is scaling back its
plans to expand into the U.S. 680's Chris McCusker explains.
The London, Ontario-based Odd Burger is changing its plan. Just 2 weeks ago, the vegan fast food restaurant announced a strategy to deal with tariffs and raise capital to invest in its U.S. expansion. Today, the chain says it will instead use the capital to invest in its Canadian manufacturing and franchise operations. Now, the political tensions with the U.S. are getting the blame, although the chain also says it's seeing increased demand on this side of the border, too. The chain has 21 restaurants in 4 provinces. It's been around since 2014. I'm Chris McCusker.
Coming up in 60 seconds, your top headlines and sports update. This is 680 News.
Life's noisy enough. Everything demands your attention. So here's something rare. Silence. It's underappreciated. Kind of like windows from Magic. With windows made here in Ontario, you'll never have to worry about cross-border sourcing or unexpected costs. While others add to the noise, Magic cuts right through it. Find out more at magicwindow.ca.
In an economic crisis, you want Mark Carney on your side. As Governor of the Bank of Canada, he steered us through the 2008 global financial crisis. He led the Bank of England through the Brexit crisis. And now he's ready to stand strong against Donald Trump's tariffs. Canadians are ready for change, and Mark Carney has the plan that will cut taxes for the middle class, create new jobs, and build the fastest growing economy in the G7. With Mark Carney, we keep Canada strong.
Authorized by the Registered Agent for the Liberal Party of Canada.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. 680 News Radio.
It's cloudy and 5 degrees in downtown Toronto. Good morning. I'm Sarah Parrott. And I'm Irene Precklett. Here are the top stories this hour. It is the first full day of the federal election campaign, and all main party leaders are on the road. Liberal leader Mark Carney is in Gander, Newfoundland, talking about the trade war with the U.S., while Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre started his day in Brampton, pledging a middle-class tax cut. A suspect is facing a second-degree murder charge after a 16-year-old boy was killed in a shooting near York Street in the Lakeshore. This happened last night on the 49th floor of a condo building, and investigators are calling it an isolated incident. The suspect, a 19-year-old man, turned himself in to police. And coming up after sports,
a new study finds taking 2 common cholesterol-lowering drugs together can reduce your risk of a heart attack.
Now time for sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Here's Verjesh Dave.
All right, Sarah, got a homecoming for the Blue Jays today as they put spring training behind them officially and bring it back to Toronto with opening day fast approaching later this week. Manager John Schneider saying they're still trying to work through some issues in the lineup and decide who should bat cleanup. Got a few days to tinker here. Things get legit on Thursday as they take on the Orioles. The Raptors on the road once again in D.C. with just 11 games left on the regular season sked. Toronto's 11th in the Eastern Conference right now. That puts them at 7th for the best odds for the number 1 pick this summer. Their chances are 7.5% to be exact. Tip-off against Washington goes tonight at 7:30 on Sportsnet 1. More NBA today. Lakers and Magic at 7. Mavs Nets at 7:30 as Anthony Davis eyes a return this week, possibly today. And it's the Celtics and Kings at 10. Not a whole lot happening in the NHL today. The Leafs are off until they host Philadelphia tomorrow. The Canucks hoping to chase down the Flames and Blues for a wild card spot in the West. They're in Jersey tonight at 7:30. The Wild also in Dallas today while Detroit meet up with Utah. Another day of March Madness coming up specifically for the women. 8 games on tap, including Michigan State and NC State in about half an hour. Number 1 Texas hook up with Illinois at 2. And New Zealand has officially become the 5th team to qualify for next year's World Cup. They beat New Caledonia this morning 3-0, so they'll rep the Oceania Confederation. That's FIFA's smallest confederation. So they join Japan, Canada, the U.S., and Mexico in the tournament now. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca.
Buying a home in the GTA can be stressful. Choosing the right agency is your first important step. At Modern Solution, they make buying and selling a breeze. Say goodbye to hefty commission fees with their 1% listing fee. That's right, 1% without compromising outstanding service. Plus, receive $5,000 when purchasing a home with one of their highly experienced agents. Join the thousands of clients who trust Modern Solution Realty. Be sure to check out their Google reviews and visit modernsolution.ca.
Until April 2nd, sky-high elegance at dream prices during the Air France Rendezvous. It's time to book your rendezvous with Paris, starting at $765, or Madrid, starting at $885 return. From Toronto, tax included. You can enjoy a glass of champagne however you fly, economy included. Elegance is a journey. Air France. Travel from March 17th to June 28th and from August 24th to November 30th, 2025. See conditions at airfrance.ca.
680 News Time, 11:48. A 53-year-old man has been struck and killed by a vehicle while on foot on Highway 407 at McCowan Road in Markham. It happened just before 6 this morning. OPP Sergeant Kerry Schmidt says the vehicle that hit the man kept going.
We do believe he was struck by a vehicle in that area, westbound Highway 407 at McCowan Road. There are no vehicles on scene right now, and if you have information, if you can assist, please call the Highway 407 OPP.
Schmidt says investigators are also trying to determine why the victim was on the highway. Niagara Regional Police are investigating a murder in St. Catharines. They were called to a residential area off the QEW around 3:30 this morning. They found a man inside a vehicle with several gunshot wounds. Police say the victim was pronounced dead in hospital. No arrests have been made. 680 News Time, 11:49. A new study finds taking two common drugs together can reduce your risk of a heart attack. Here's 680's Eva Fragiscatos.
The two drugs are cholesterol-lowering drugs. Researchers suggest taking statins in combination with another cholesterol-lowering drug known as ezetimibe is more effective in bringing down levels of bad cholesterol in the blood. The study found that taking the two pills together reduced the risk of early death by 19% and reduced the risk of a heart attack by 18% and a stroke by 17%. The lead author on the study says the combined therapy is safe and effective. Researchers say this study confirms that combined cholesterol-lowering therapy should be considered immediately and should be the gold standard for treatment of very high-risk patients. The study in the journal Mayo Clinic Proceedings analyzed 14 studies, including more than 100,000 patients with blocked arteries. I'm Eva Fragiscatos.
Well, coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and weather and...
Blue Jays opening day is 3 sleeps away. There's a new addition in the right field corner. It is really cool with a great view of the game.
680 News Time, 11:50.
Supporting Canadian businesses has never been more important. That's why Canada Post is committed to making it easier to ship Canadian with our best rates ever. Right now, your business will save up to 70% on expedited shipping and returns. Plus, as a Toronto-based business, you can access rates as low as $3.50 for lightweight local packages. It's time to shop Canadian, ship Canadian. Learn more about our best rates at canadapost.ca/shipcanadian.
Rogers Xfinity Internet is ready for everything. So you can search and stream and shop and study and share and play and post and work and watch and game and work out and download and... Wow, that's a lot. And now you can save a lot too at the Rogers Spring Event. Visit in-store or Rogers.com and save up to $20 a month on a 24-month term on Canada's most reliable internet. Get Rogers Xfinity Internet and be ready to do more everything.
680 News Time, 11:51. It's time for Rogers Xfinity Internet, traffic and weather. Together are the ones. Here's Craig Gear.
This report is brought to you by Search Kings. We had a problem on the westbound QEW ramp to Winston Churchill, clear away. Still waiting for this dump truck to clear away on the northbound DVP. That's why it's heavy as you approach Bloor to north of Bayview Bloor. The right lane's still blocked here, hopefully clearing shortly. Southbound delays, a bit busy through Shepherd and through Lawrence, and that's it. West and East Gardiner, slow with long-term construction. Westbound from Spadina to Jameson. Eastbound still busy as you approach Parkside to east of Jameson. A bit of a delay on the southbound 400 now as you come up to the crash, approaching 88, where the right lane is blocked, hopefully clearing shortly. Westbound 401, a bit busy at Avenue Road in the Express. Really not too bad. It's eastbound 401 is still looking at delays from Dixon to the 400, mostly Express lane delays. And it looks like the crash at Keele and Lawrence has been cleared away. Looking for better results from your Google advertising? Switch to Search Kings, winner of the Google Premier Partner Customer Satisfaction Award. Your search is over. Let Search Kings help your customers find you. With the forecast, Jill Taylor.
Other than the snow and rain from early this morning, it's a pretty quiet weather week unless you're in the snow belts. Yeah, watch for some lake effect if you're heading north. And we'll get a bit milder too, climb to 6 degrees for the guaranteed high today with the wind out of the southwest. Cloudy, still windy tonight, 1 degree. It'll feel like -5. Early tomorrow, chance of flurries or showers, +4. And then for Wednesday, mainly cloudy near 3. Thursday, sun and cloud, milder up to +9, but cooler again Friday, and heads up for freezing rain Saturday before double-digit highs return on Sunday. For today, the guaranteed high, +6.
Right now, +5, mostly cloudy. 6:80 news time, 11:53.
This extended forecast is brought to you by Rexdale Hyundai.
Looking for a Hyundai? I'm your guy. It's the reopening of Rexdale Hyundai. Need an oil change? Just drive up. No appointment needed. Visit rexdalehyundai.ca today.
Your best choice is Eco Choice Windows and Doors.
Noise reduction, superior energy efficiency, and an epic upgrade? Yes, please!
Lower your energy costs and reduce outside noise with Energy Max Slim Windows from Eco Choice Windows and Doors. Voted Best Windows Company in the GTA by HomeStars for 9 years in a row. Order before March 30th and receive a free triple pane upgrade. Make the right choice. Visit ecochoicewindows.ca. That's ecochoicewindows.ca.
As a homeowner, it's hard to keep your home running smoothly and worry-free. That's where the experts at Enercare come in, making it easier for you. We're a proudly Canadian company, helping GTA homeowners like you for over 65 years with affordable solutions for your home's unique needs. Whether you need help with heating, cooling, water heating, or water purification, an Enercare expert will be with you every step of the way. And you get peace of mind knowing that you're backed by our very best.
Enercare, experts at home.
Well, a U.S. delegation, including the National Security Advisor, will be in Greenland later this week, that is. The White House says they will spend the trip watching a dog sled race and visiting U.S. service members. But ABC's Terry Moran reports the Greenland government is not happy.
This has infuriated the Greenlanders, who overwhelmingly do not agree and do not want to see Donald Trump and the United States take over Greenland. The Prime Minister saying that what is the National Security Advisor doing in Greenland? The only purpose is to demonstrate power over us.
Greenland is a semi-autonomous territory of Denmark with its own elected officials. This is 680 News Radio. The Blue Jays are adding another lounge area to Rogers Centre ahead of the home opener on Thursday. 680's Simon Bennett is there. He got a first-hand look this morning.
Introducing Club 328 at Rogers Centre. In the right field corner, they've made, right next to the visitors' bullpen, a nice little lounge area. You can see right onto the field. Incredible sight lines. Lots of great food. Tickets are available on packages, single games on a select level for around $100 each. They say they are selling well. Club 328 in the right field corner ahead of the Jays home opener, which is Thursday against Baltimore. Reporting from Rogers Centre, I'm Simon Bennett.
Coming up in 60 seconds, your Market Minute. This is 680 News.
Save up to 50% off at Ecotech Windows and Doors. Pay no tax or don't pay till 2026.
You'll see the difference right away with ecotechwindows.ca.
Quality and comfort you can trust and afford. Ecotechwindows.ca.
Come on in. Nissan is proudly celebrating 60 years in Canada. We're rolling with the all-new Kicks, boldly redesigned with best-in-class cargo space and named a 2024 top safety pick by IIHS. You can feel good about playing it safe. Right now, lease the all-new 2025 Kicks for the equivalent of $70 weekly for 39 months. Offer includes $1,500 anniversary bonus cash. S front-wheel drive for $302 monthly with $1,499 down at 4.99%. Conditions apply. See Nissan.ca for details.
With Seco Clean Surface Paint, stress less about life's unavoidable stains. Its ultra-washable finish makes cleaning walls a breeze. Sorry, Crayon Mark. Better luck next time, Smudge. Save 30% until April 2nd. Seco? See color.
Now time for the Dynamic Funds Market Minute. Here's Richard Detman.
The trade war could hurt prospects for decarbonizing the Canadian and U.S. economies. Canada is a world leader in making lower carbon aluminum and has been building up its EV sector, but both could be hurt by tariffs. There's also the possibility of harm to Canadian exports of critical minerals and power grid equipment used in U.S. electrification, plus the new administration's shift away from decarbonization policies. But the electric vehicle manufacturing chain could benefit because EVs have fewer border-crossing parts than internal combustion autos. close. U.S. officials say next week's tariffs will be less broad than promised, but now there's a new twist involving a Trump target.
President Trump says he'll seek a 25% tariff on any nation purchasing oil and gas from Venezuela. He cites migration and criminal gang members in the U.S. The potential move, reminiscent of an oil sanction, would particularly impact China, a major purchaser of crude from the South American country. I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
Stocks are sharply higher on the prospect of the U.S. tariffs not being as broad as promised. The TSX Composite Index is up 1.5%, 369 points. The Dow's up 542, S&P up 90, the benchmark up 1.6%, and the Nasdaq is up nearly 2%. Our dollar's up 24/100ths to 69.93 cents U.S. Oil futures are 1% higher, 89 cents at 69.17 a barrel. Gold is down $2 to $3,019 an ounce. Bitcoin's up 3%, topping 88,000. At the Business Center, I'm Richard Detman.
Markets always present challenges. Good advice and active management turn challenges into opportunities. Visit dynamic.ca/advice to learn more.
Guess who just bundled their home and auto with Desjardins Insurance? Well, look at you, all grown up and saving money. Yes, I am. Mom told you to do it, didn't she? Yes, she did.
Get insurance that's really big on care. Switch and you could save up to 35% on home insurance when you bundle home and auto. Desjardins Insurance. Here for your home, auto, life, and business needs. Certain conditions apply.
Air Transat presents two friends on vacation in Italy.
Well, it's almost time to pack up and go home.
But we just got here.
We've been here for 2 weeks.
Seriously?
Yeah, we've been to 5 museums, visited 4 churches, made pasta from scratch, done a food tour and a bike tour, and had a private opera class with a famous mezzo-soprano.
Wow, time really flies by.
With direct round-trip flights to Europe starting at $549 with carry-on baggage and a meal included, you don't want to let this offer fly by. Conditions apply. Air Transat. Travel moves us.
Your trusted news, 680 News Radio is CFTR AM Toronto. Listen anytime on the Seeker audio app. That's SEEKR. 680 News Time, 12 noon.
Number 1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. 680 News Radio. Need to know at noon. Starts now.
This is Monday, March 24th. I'm Irene Precklett.
And I'm Sarah Parrott. Here's what's making news this hour.
From cutting taxes to building homes, federal party leaders are making promises to voters as they hit the hustings on their first full day of campaigning in the federal election.
What does the mayor want to see for Toronto from the leaders in the federal election?
Straightforward things that we need.
Building more housing, transit, and infrastructure are all on the list.
Toronto police now say the victim shot and killed in a condo near York and Lakeshore was just 16 years old. A 19-year-old is charged with second-degree murder.
3 days out from the Jays home opener, some new food unveiled, and yes, I did try the cotton candy fries.
Spring training all wrapped up for the Blue Jays as the team returns to the 6 today. Plus, the Raptors have a date with the worst team in the NBA tonight. Sports at 15.
Trump tariffs have already hit the U.S. manufacturing sector, which has slipped into contraction territory. TSX is up 1.5%. Wall Street's up 1 to 2%. Business at 26.
680 News Time, 12:01.
That is time for Rogers Xfinity Internet. Traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Craig Gear.
This report is brought to you by Sportsnet. Northbound DVP, stalled dump truck still there north of Bayview Bloor, where the right lane's blocked by Toronto Transportation delays as you approach Bloor to north of Bayview Bloor. A problem on the southbound 400. It's a crash approaching Highway 88. Just a minor delay now, but it is slower than normal where the right lane's blocked off there because of that. The east and west Gardner slow with the long-term construction both directions still. Eastbound through Jameson, so that's better. And then westbound from Spadina towards Jameson as you try to get westbound on the Gardner. Eastbound 401 anywhere from Dixon to the 400, mostly express lane delays. And that's just volume. And westbound on the 401, I'm not seeing anything. It's a pretty good drive for westbound traffic. Problems on Danforth. Warden closed to Eastwood, or Danforth closed. Warden to Eastwood for this bridge construction. Bit of a long-term project until the end of Thursday. And north of the 115 on 35, both directions shut down from Sandy Hook to Pontypool for a crash investigation. 16 teams, one champion. See who will raise hockey's ultimate prize. The Stanley Cup playoffs begin this April on Sportsnet. With the forecast, good afternoon, Rob Haswell.
Well, good afternoon, and we have an interesting day ahead of us today. We'll continue with a pretty strong wind at times, getting a little bit on the gusty side. Temperatures are relatively seasonal with a few more rain showers scattered about the area. Those will become flurries later on today and tonight as we start to cool down. Just a slight chance of flurries overnight tonight, but still windy. We'll dip from our guaranteed high of around 6 down to an overnight low near 0.
680 News Time, 12:03.
Canada votes 2025.
Well, it was about 24 hours ago it became official. Canadians were heading to the polls at the end of next month. Today is the first full day of the campaign, with party leaders busy making promises to voters.
680's Parliament Hill reporter Cormac McSweeney is breaking it all down.
We'll start things off in Montreal, where NDP leader Jagmeet Singh was the first up, vowing to build 100,000 rent-controlled homes by 2035 using public land.
Everywhere there's federal land, we want to see homes being built that are affordable.
Meanwhile, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre in Brampton promising a middle-class tax cut by reducing the lowest income tax bracket by 2.25 percentage points.
This is a tax cut that will put Canada first.
Meanwhile, Liberal leader Mark Carney speaking in Gander, Newfoundland, the spot where we took in many Americans when flights were grounded on 9/11. Amid our trade war with the U.S., he's tapping into the historic ties and vowing to stand up for Canada, but likening our relationship to being brothers, where you fight sometimes, but you still stick up for each other. We're also hearing today that there will be 2 leaders' debates being held in Montreal. The first in French will be April 16th, the second in English on April 17th. Canadians head to the polls April 28th. On the election watch, Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
So what are the wants of the city of Toronto in this federal election? 680's Moment Qureshi is finding out and joins us live with more on that. Moment.
Irene, when it comes to the federal election, I asked the mayor if she is wanting to take meetings with any of the leaders to kind of express Toronto's desires.
I'm always around if anyone wants to talk. I will, during the next 4 or 5 weeks before the end of April, talk to a lot of the residents, asking them what would they want to see from the federal government.
In terms of what she wants, she says it's pretty straightforward, not really a mystery. She wants more housing built, more affordable housing built. She said she'd like to see rent supplements in the interim to try to help people who are trying to find some more permanent housing. Also things like transit and money to build out infrastructure. She says that all the obvious things that you'd think the city of Toronto wants is what she'd like to see from the leadership during this federal campaign. Reporting live, I'm Moment Qureshi.
A 16-year-old boy is Toronto's latest murder victim. This as police announce an arrest in the case. 680's Kevin Meisner joins us with more information from the scene in the York Street and Lakeshore area.
Toronto Police Marine Unit divers are in the water of Toronto Harbour searching for a gun they believe was used in this fatal shooting.
They're looking for a firearm, correct?
Detective Sergeant Mike Taylor says a 16-year-old boy was found shot to death in a unit on the 49th floor of 12 York Street, the ICE condo towers. 19-year-old Elijah Chapman is now charged with second-degree murder. Police believe this was an isolated incident.
I can tell you they were known to each other. The investigation revealed that they were friends. I can tell you we're not looking for any other suspects.
Homicide detectives believe 16-year-old Yonadab Dar was shot early Sunday morning. His body wasn't discovered until after a suspect turned himself in at 51 Division, and that led police to the shooting scene. At York and Lakeshore, I'm Kevin Meisner.
680 News Radio. Need to know at noon. Commuter Calculator.
Okay, time to find out how the afternoon drive is looking for today. Jordan Kerr is at the 680 News Radio Traffic Center, adding up all the potential problems. Good afternoon, Jordan.
Well, good afternoon. On the highways, there's that stalled dump truck on the northbound DVP north of Bayview Bloor. That'll hopefully be gone by the time the afternoon rush starts, but it's taking a long time to get this moving. On city streets, we have Danforth Avenue still closed east of Warden for bridge work until Thursday. Downtown, Mary J. Blige is at Scotiabank Arena starting at 7 p.m. That's when the show is. There'll be extra traffic heading into downtown for that. It's going to get windier, even windier later, but no rain or snow to slow you down. Considering these factors, we're rating the afternoon afternoon drive, a level 2 out of 4, moderate on the 680 commuter calculator. Reporting live from the 680 traffic center, I'm Jordan Kerr.
Of course, things can change in an instant, so be sure to stay tuned to traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the ones throughout the afternoon drive.
Another round of subway closures on the Yonge University line begins at 11 o'clock tonight. The TTC's Samantha TC has an update.
There will be no subway service on the portion of Line 1 between Finch and Eglinton stations. This is due to some planned track work going on in that area. Shuttle buses will be operating and extra Wheel-Trans service will be on hand for anyone who needs it. Just make sure to see a TTC staff member for any assistance. And Lawrence and North York Center stations will be closed, but all other stations will remain open during this subway closure. And this closure will take place each night this week up until Friday.
Regular subway service will resume at about 6 a.m. the following morning.
OPP say a pedestrian is dead after being struck by a vehicle on the 407 in Markham. Sergeant Kerry Schmidt says it happened around 6 this morning in the westbound lanes near McCowan.
The person was transported to hospital but was pronounced deceased, 53-year-old man. Next of kin notifications have been made. The investigation is still ongoing. We do believe he was struck by a vehicle in that area.
And the vehicle did leave the scene.
This is 680 News Radio. Rogers Center gave some media members a sneak peek at their new food offerings ahead of the home opener this Thursday. 680's Simon Bennett was there, and yes, he did try the cotton candy fries.
Lots of new food options at Rogers Center this year. Got to try some out in the new Club 328 today. Among the ones I had to do, the cotton candy fries. Not as sweet as you'd expect. The blue sauce on top of the fries has a savory flavor to it. They won't tell me what it is. Secret blue sauce, they say. Lots of new options here. Enjoy them. Club 328 might be a new place you want to check out the games in the right field corner. Limited tickets available. Home opener Thursday against Baltimore. Reporting from Rogers Center, I'm Simon Bennett.
Coming up, gas prices.
680 News Time, 12:09.
Your need to know at noon.
On 680 News Radio Toronto.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Access Rebates.
If you've built or substantially renovated a home or condominium in the last 2 years, you could be eligible for tax-free government rebates of up to $24,000. Access Rebates can help you access government rebates, regardless of your income or property value. Trust Access Rebates, the industry experts with over 20 years of experience. Whether you have completed or are planning a home construction project, learn what rebates you're eligible for at accessrebates.ca.
Now the News Radio Toronto gas price update. Enpro predicts the price will not change at midnight, staying at $1.54.9 a litre.
680 News Time, 12:10.
Rouge VIP Savings Event is on now at Appliance Canada.
Ooh la la.
Why do we call it Rouge VIP? Look to the right of you, red tags. Look to the left of you, red tags. It's a sea of red tags featuring Save the Tax, Buy More, Save More, and VIP exclusives. We're rolling out the red carpet during this 4-day event with virtually every brand on sale. VIP Rouge, on now at Appliance Canada. Canadian owned and operated since 1983. Learn more at appliancecanada.com.
At Desjardins, we speak business. We speak startup funding and comprehensive game plans. We've mastered made-to-measure growth and expansion advice, and we can talk your ear off about transferring your business when the time comes. Because at Desjardins Business, we speak the same language you do, business. So join the more than 400,000 Canadian entrepreneurs who already count on us and contact Desjardins today. We'd love to talk business.
680 News Time, 12:11.
Time for the Rogers Xfinity Internet traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Craig Gear.
This report is brought to you by Diamond and Diamond Lawyers. New problem, westbound 401 west of Kiel in the Express. Right lane blocked with a crash, so that's jamming things up from approaching Kiel in the Express, almost west of the Allen now in the Express to west of Kiel. That's where you get slow thanks to this new crash. Eastbound 401 from about Dixon to Islington. Approaching Islington, you get slow. Just around the area where you get to choose express or collectors. And then it's slow east of the 400 to east of Kiel, alternating express and collectors thanks to the visual distraction of the crash on the westbound side. So when you do get to pick express or collectors, either do it at the split at Kipling or east of the 400, but express lane moving worse east of the 400 because of the visual distraction problem. This is all on the eastbound 401. So be in the collectors as you get up towards Kiel. It's a better drive. Southbound 400, the crash approaching 88 is gone. Same with the stalled dump truck on the northbound DVP north of Bayview Bloor. That's been cleared, but delays from Bloor to north of Bayview Bloor. We'll see how this changes the pattern of the volume on the northbound DVP now that there's nothing really going on. East and West Gardner, slow eastbound through Jameson and the long-term construction. Westbound from Spadina still. And problems on Danforth, closed. Warden to Eastwood for bridge construction until Thursday. And 35 is closed north of the 115 for friends east of the GTA. It's closed down both ways from Sandy Hook to Pontypool due to a crash. You paid for your disability benefits, and now the insurance company says no. Call Diamond & Diamond, Canada's largest injury law firm with over 65 lawyers, 1-800-567-HURT. With the forecast, Rob Haswell.
All right, thanks, Craig. It looks like we'll get a few more little sprinkles or flurries a little later on today and into the evening hours. Obviously, in the near term here, it should be rain showers. Things are relatively mild, 6 degrees at Pearson as at the top of the hour. Windy, too. Strong southwest wind. Last wind gust around 44 kilometers per hour. Wouldn't be surprised to see some stronger ones closer to 50 at times throughout the day today. Staying strong from the southwest tonight with, again, a slight chance for a few flurries. We'll likely get a few more flurries in the forecast Tuesday and still breezy with a high near 5. Our overnight low tonight dips to near 0.
680 News Time, 12:13. It is time for your market update. Here's Richard Detman.
Stocks are rising on signals that the U.S. will modify the tariffs it promises to impose next week. The TSX is up 1.5%, 380 points. The Dow's up 585. The S&P up 91, 1.6%. The benchmark at 57.59. And the Nasdaq is the star of the session so far, up 2% or 383 points. Tech sector strength there. The dollar is up 1/4 cent at 69.94 cents U.S. Oil's up 88 cents at 69.16 a barrel. Gold is down $2 at $3,019 an ounce. At the Business Center, I'm Richard Detman.
This market update is brought to you by IG Private Wealth.
Okay, I want to divide my assets fairly. I want to make sure my kids are taken care of. Oh, and I really don't want to pay more tax. Underline that. So if I buy a lake house, how much regular house can I help my kids buy? An IG Private Wealth Advisor will help you plan for it all. Your family, your life, and your dreams. Does your financial advisor put you at the center? Meet one who will at igprivatewealth.com.
Dad's classic joke. I'm on a seafood diet. I see food and I eat it. You'd roll your eyes, but it always made you laugh. And it still does, even after he's gone. ArborMemorial.ca. Every life remembered.
Here's the thing. In these uncertain times, Ontario businesses need certain relief. The WSIB is giving $2 billion in rebates back to Ontario businesses. Find yours by logging into your account at wsib.ca/online services.
Toronto's trusted news. 680 News Radio.
It's now 6 degrees, still mostly cloudy. Good afternoon. I'm Irene Precklip.
And I'm Sarah Parrott. Here are the top stories this hour.
It's a busy day on the federal election campaign. Liberal leader Mark Carney in Gander, Newfoundland. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is in the GTA. And that's where NDP leader Jagmeet Singh is heading after starting the day in Montreal. Toronto police say they've arrested a suspect in the city's latest murder. A 16-year-old boy was shot in a condo in the York and Lakeshore area yesterday. Police say the suspect and victim knew each other. And coming up after sports.
A Toronto Safe Consumption side in court today trying to overturn a Ford government law.
The service is saving people's lives on a regular basis for the past 8 years.
It's looking for an injunction to prevent the closure of sites next week.
And time now for sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan for Jesh Dave.
Irene, the Blue Jays back in Canada today, gonna get ready for Toronto once again and that spring weather and the traffic and all the good stuff. After all that time in sunny Florida for spring training, they're prepping for opening day now, just 3 sleeps away, still reportedly working through some possible lineup changes for their cleanup hitter. They start on Thursday against Baltimore. Well, the Raptors hoping to pick up another loss against the worst team in the NBA tonight. Won't be easy, though, with Washington looking to do the same. Both eyeing better odds for that number 1 draft pick. Tip tip-off from DC's at 7:30 on Sportsnet 1. Elsewhere today, Lakers Magic at 7, Nets Mavs at 7:30 as Anthony Davis eyes a possible return this week. A pretty chill Monday in the NHL. The Leafs are off before hosting the Flyers tomorrow. The Canucks, though, with an all-important showdown against New Jersey today, hoping to stay in the Western Conference wildcard playoff race. Also got Minnesota, Dallas, and Detroit versus Utah. March Madness bouncing along today for the women's bracket across the states. 16 more teams looking to advance as Michigan State and NC State get the party started. Texas and Illinois coming up at 2 o'clock. And then some tennis. Richmond Hill's Denis Shapovalov's in action today at the Miami Open up against American Taylor Fritz in the round of 32. A loaded day for the women as well. Iga Swiatek, Coco Gauff, and world number 1 Ariana Sabalenka all suiting up as well. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca.
Hi, this is Kevin Osman, founder of Canadian Rack Technologies, otherwise known as Rack.ca, official partners of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Rack.ca is Canada's #1 source for all things warehouse storage solutions. Rack.ca has a large stock of new and used pallet racking, industrial shelving, storage rack, cantilever racking, and more. When you need rack right away, contact Rack.ca. Go Leafs, go!
At iCare Appliance Repair, honesty and integrity are guaranteed because we know that trust doesn't get a second chance. iCare won't recommend replacing parts that don't need to be replaced, and you never pay for an unsuccessful repair. When our technician comes to your home, rest assured they're highly trained, certified, insured, and have a clear background check. Call iCare and you'll reach a team member, not a call center. No one cares more than iCare. Google iCare Appliance Repair or visit icarerepair.ca.
Know more.
And know now.
Need to know at noon on 680 News Radio.